Hey guys, as promised, the Nerf Rebelle is kind of lacking in performance on the front end, and since I already own one, I have decided to make a modification guide video for you. So without any further ado, I'm going to start taking out these infinite amount of screws, and we will get right to the internals. So as you can see, the bow arms butterfly off very easily. The pieces should be super simple to paint because despite all of this garbage, it's all flat, which means that it should paint over very easily after a light dusting kind of sanding deal. So once you get to the actual internals of the blaster, you can see that the handle comes off in two parts, which is awesome because the paint job that the Draculina and I have in mind for this bow, we want to keep this kind of charcoal black body intact, so we can paint these pieces separately, which is sweet. Now you get to get your first real look at the internals here, and it's kind of ridiculous. They wanted it to have a full draw, but they didn't want any strength behind that draw, so you pull back this way and it's kind of like a yo-yo inside with a spring load. So this pulls back, and then your actual draw is in this Night Finder shaped plunger tube where you pull this and you get that amount of power. Now the good news is that it looks like it should be really easy to knock out this air restrictor and build a better blaster with a spring addition of some sort, and I can accomplish all of that while I'm doing the painting in tandem. But I'm thinking some silver, some blue, and this will be a little bit tricky, but I'll show you how I tape it off to paint it. Without any further ado, I'm going to crack open the internals and show you what those look like. So while the Draculina starts painting the Heartbreaker bow, I am going to work on getting this air restrictor out. The only other thing that I think I'm going to do to this blaster is a spring addition and a seal improvement, because it's just such a simple blaster. The barrel seems fine, but these are not actually air release holes. They look like it for a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a small, here we go, flathead screwdriver and see if these are not welded on, and I can possibly just pry this pink barrel off, which would be neat for a couple of reasons. One, it means that I could paint it, and then two, it is how I plan on attacking this air restrictor. So I'm going to come in from both sides, and it looks like I just got a pop. There we go, that's off. Now I just need to remove it from here. I can use kind of like a simple wedge to get that out, and it looks like there is our air restrictor. All I have to do is kind of crack it open, and then I can glue it back together. Oh man, it's not even welded shut. They went to all that trouble welding shut Elite blasters, and they did not bother with this. So that looks fine to me. No more air restrictor. I'm going to come over here and cut this out. We'll start by snapping that out, but I want to get rid of these as well, and then we should have the airflow is broken up by this little containment kind of area, so I'm going to at least drill through this and through this so that we have a straight shot through to our plunger. Hey guys, so this is a quick segment showing that I have completely opened up this barrel so that we have direct airflow, everything fit back together very easily. And then or I guess that was the plunger. The barrel over here I have glued over by pushing E-tape in with my pinky to make sure that we keep a consistent inner diameter, and then I'm going to make sure that this cools in such a way that I can paint over it and it'll look like there was never an air release hole here. It doesn't give us much more, it only gives us like a centimeter more of effective barrel length, but I think that that was worth the 2 seconds it took to put a dot of hot glue in there. So as you guys can see, this Rebelle blaster is super easy to paint. It's easy to just kind of put a coating of each color that you want where you want it, and I'm getting really nice results so far with all of these pieces. I want to show how I've taped off so that I can make this handle silver, and I'm going to go ahead and put the initial coating on there, but you have the internals which have yet to be touched underneath this leaf. I've taped off all the parts that are going to be close to where I'm painting with painter's tape. I don't think it's frog tape, I think it's like generic brand painter's tape. And then I've just kind of laid the other pieces out to the side where I don't think that they're in any danger of being sprayed. So, as always, like, 2 or 3 light coats is better than 1 heavy coat, so I'm just going to let that sit, and then I'll flip it, do 1, flip it, do 1, flip it, do 1, and patience is the key to any good paint job, and when you have this many parts, you can afford to spread your attention out. Hey guys, so unfortunately it started raining and we had to bring the pieces in really fast, but the Draculina finished up the lettering. We've decided to call the bow Esper. She decided this because it is now blue, silver, and has all of the black on it. Overall, I'm really pleased with how the paint job turned out. It's super clean just because of all the pieces and how they kind of stacked on top of one another. It was just really easy, really simple, and now it looks like just any other toy. I wasn't too worried about knocking off the orange tip because it clearly looks like a Nerf toy or toy bow. It doesn't look like a real bow, and it certainly doesn't look like a firearm of any kind. So I feel like this is pretty safe for wherever we want to play with it. Anyway, the performance is markedly increased between the air hole covering with the hot glue, the addition of a spring, and the complete blowing out of the air restrictor and streamlining of the airflow system. It's just a really efficient small blaster that gets about modded night finder ranges. With the Elite darts, the performance is very, very nice. I have a couple of regular streamlines as well that I want to try, and I haven't fired these before, but it's not as good. It's firing a little wilder. I'm going to try and control a couple of these shots. And all in all, I'm just really pleased with it. It's fun, it looks much cooler, and I think that it's really, really neat. So that's the mod tutorial. If you have one of these Heartbreaker bows and would like it to be much cooler, go ahead, take it apart. It's super easy. The plunger tube disassembles, which is awesome. Nothing else really does that these days, and I just think that it's a really cool, simple mod. So as always, guys, thanks for watching.